What's up, guys? Welcome back. Patreon request. Kuroko no basket requested by Hybrid on Patreon. So this is the red-haired guy, Sejuro, and he sent me a panel. So it's that interception like catch thing. There's like a head here. So landscape page, pencil eraser, hit pause if I go too fast. He's like one-handed stopping the ball. So there's a big circle up here, right? And then his head is underneath, forearm down there. So we're going to start with that circle. Circles are tricky. If you have a stencil or a plate or a cup or anything that'll help you get that circle in, feel free to do it. So like roughly the size of it will come down to here. Probably like top third of the page, you know. Maybe a little bit more even. So I'd say it's about that size. So I'll just mark out maybe the sides of it. So just to give you a bit of a reference, this is how big I'm going to go. So like up there, right? So again, like if you have a plate or something that's the right size, or even a compass, you know, you could, nothing wrong with doing that. And then I'll try and join these together if you want to try and freehand along with me. Tricky enough. So I'll just kind of sketch it out lightly and then try and clean the lines up then. So we get it as circular as we can. Again, the only way to really get a perfect circle is a stencil or something similar. It's got like fingers, a couple of fingers up there. Okay, so not bad, and I'll just maybe just smooth this out a bit. Won't get it perfect, but okay. So there's like lines for the basketball on this. Now this can be challenging enough. So let's say there's like one wrapped around the middle, I think. Here. Seems to go. Like around that way. It's a fairly thick line as well. And then there's some extra ones. So there's like a square one sort of here, so we'll go this way. And again, if you know the panel I'm talking about, you could probably get a clearer picture of this. There, and then there's a line that goes down the way. And it is a pretty heavy line because I think it's like, you know, in the groove of the basketball. And then we got something else up here. Kind of like that, and then a line that way. Right, so that is not that easy. So, like, feel free to trace it even, or, you know, because you want it to be sort of round and stuff. And because I do know, like, artists, you know, comic book artists, they don't normally freehand stuff like this. But there probably are some that do. But... Right, so his head is in under here, and his arm kind of covers his head a little bit. Maybe we get the forearm in first. So just like his arm, the muscles for his arm, his forearm there, kind of a wavy line. And then the other side kind of goes right down, right? And like his bicep and shoulder sort of bump down here. And his elbow would be like in this spot, coming down that way, okay? There's way more details on that, but we'll just get his face in. It's tucked in this space here, okay? So we can see an eye right beside the forearm here. So we'll go up. Cross touches that. Don't worry if you're like a bit further out, but okay. And it seems to go back up into there. And it's kind of a dark eyelash line, sort of heavy there. And then wide eyes, so like a full circle here. And then he's got like a line slit sort of an eye, kind of like a lizard. And then, so the other eye, just about here, you'd probably fit his eye across, you know, the white of his eye. That's kind of the distance. It's roughly an eye distance over. Cross. Same sort of thing. And then we've got the spike in the corner. And we'll just bring this around up into there. And then his iris again. And then the sort of line slit for his eye there. It's a very crazy looking. Crazy looking eyes, intense. So his eyebrow then, just above. And they're just done with black line. I think they're red in the anime, so it's up to you if you want to color them or just keep them black. This one goes right up here. I think this one could track with his nose, the bridge of his nose there as well. Is there an eyelid line there? Might be a bit of an eyelid line just above this here. Like some lines around the corners of his eyes. Do. Okay, so pretty intense looking face. And then his nose, so they do like a very sort of slender nose, bridge of his nose curving down that way. In. And then maybe just like a nostril coming out here and a nostril on that side. his mouth is semi-open, so it goes like it's downturned at first. You know, like real sort of serious like that. You could leave it like that. That doesn't look too bad. But for accuracy, I'll do it as it is in the manga, like he's talking, you know. Like he's like in the zone. Bottom lip is kind of there. And then his chin kind of square here. Now you'll see the facial features like right in there, just the size of it. And like normally, say like top eyelid line to say the bottom of his nose is about the same as bottom of nose to chin. So like here to here and here to here are about the same. And then bottom of the nose to the bottom lip, say the middle of his bottom lip, is about the same as bottom lip to the chin. Just if you're wondering about how far down you go. And then we can go for jaw. There. And it's different on this side. It kind of curves out like that. So it's like a 3/4 pose on this side and a standard on that side. Then it goes up the side of his face. And it hits hair here. So he's got like real spiky red hair all hanging down this way. His ear is just in behind. And then we have some more like hair spikes just coming down from behind the basketball. Right, and then his ear in here. We do some ear lines just a little bit. And he's got like beads of sweat on his face because he's playing basketball. So his neck, where he's got kind of an exaggerated long neck. Coming down that way. The back of it here. And it kind of hits his jersey, which comes over his shoulder here. So it goes down like that. Very loose basketball jersey. Then his neck, I think, goes like down that way then. I think there's some more hair in here. And there is actually some more down, hanging down behind his head as well, back here. Bum, bum, bum. Right, so we've got this big head here. And it's kind of like it stops. It doesn't go to the edge of my page because it's a portrait orientation panel. So it'll probably stop somewhere here. But we get this, we get his arm done. So we got like elbow, comes down to his tricep. It's kind of like his lat really. His triceps in there, but it's like his back muscles as well. And then there's like, he draws in like elbow lines and stuff like that, like to try and form it. And then there's like some forearm muscle type, very loose lines, but like bits of hatching and stuff like that. But, you know, that's optional. It's just for shadow. You don't have to do that really. And of course there's all beads of sweat dripping. And then we'll go, right, that's his shoulder, and then so his jersey will come around his arm here. Right, and the other side of his jersey joins there, comes around his chest, and then, do we see his collarbone? No, it's just like shadow in there, and then his shoulder goes off that way, but that head is here, so you can't really see it. I assume it's just because his arm is probably just hanging down. I think you can see it in the anime, so if you wanted a reference, if you didn't want to do the head, just look up the anime version. But I will do what Hybrid asked me to do. So what do we have? Raku's something. So we go. So there's all these like fabric lines, basically, just like hanging down the jersey. You know, it's a very loose jersey. So we can see the R, the Raku's. Can't see the other one. So we'll do what we can see anyway. R. Okay, the U is like here. Now this one goes behind like a spike of hair, so can't see all that. So we probably have to draw the face. We can see the top of the 4. And there's a black line down the side of his, it's real black in there. And I think there's some gray or something up here. Some gray there. Okay, so there's a big head here. Again, you don't have to do this. You could like try and finish the arm. But say it's like, it's just massive, big, crazy hair spikes, right? Because we're right close up on it. There's like an ear there, maybe. Like an ear, just sort of floating there. And I guess this is like an eyebrow area. I'm going to put some eyelashes because it'll make it look more like a face. Right, and then the hair kind of sticks. It's kind of mad, so it's, you know, you could do. You can go as messy as you want with this hair. Now I'll just do a sort of a simpler version. Kind of stops there, and then there is some like textures and stuff here. And then like there is some like crazy single like strands and stuff all sticking out, so you could do as much of that as you'd like, really. You should probably be able to see a bit more lettering. Raku, that's a Z anyway. Something else there, but disappears then pretty quickly. Bit more sweat on his skin. Is there sweat on the ball? No. Usually, sometimes you can see sweat on the ball. But there's like some, oh, his finger. There's a finger up here. Maybe like a little jutty out bit of a finger there. And then like sort of like vibration stuff on the ball. You know, the impact. That's it. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.